Okay, here's a wonderful interview with David Palencia, who is an English teacher in Murcia, Spain, and also webmaster of the website dawayingles.com. David speaks about how he got his English to an amazingly high level, and he also gives some wonderful advice on how you can take your English to the next level. I asked him about studying for the Cambridge exams, and he explains why he started his excellent website dawayingles and his podcast. So, let's get straight to it. Here's David Palencia Garcia from dawayingles.com. David, when and why did you start dawayingles.com?
Daway, the websites I started in March, but I started thinking about the whole thing at Christmas, in December 2013. Yeah. So basically, I had this idea in mind. I got my degree. I studied English philology, English language and literature at the University of Murcia. And I got my degree and I was trying to work as a teacher. And I kept having the same problem again and again. Like I had more and more students and they all asked me for material. Like, oh, can you give me some, photocopies about the exam? Or can you help me with this particular topic or something? And I kept creating more and more photocopies. I did some Word documents, and so I just realized there was a point, and I realized, oh my gosh, I keep giving them photocopies. So it'd be so nice to be able to access all that material online. So I don't have to to make photocopies, and I just have to tell them, like, yeah, go to the website and check this out.
But that's amazing to me, because looking at your dawayingles.com, there's so much material there. I mean, it's amazing how much you've managed to publish in just a few months. And when I first saw the website, I thought it'd been up for maybe 4 or 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
It really is impressive. So I just wanted to say that to you. Where does the name Daway come from?
Okay.
Is there a story behind that, or you just chose it?
Okay. No, there's a small story. Like, the story is just, the picture is just me at home on an armchair sitting and, writing down so many words on a piece of paper, trying to, okay, what's the best name? What's the best name? It has to be catchy. It has to be funny. And then I was trying different names, and I realized, like, okay, what do I have to try to reflect on my websites? And it was like my way of doing the things, of doing things of teaching, because I wanted to break from the traditional educational system, as we've been talking about. So it was like, no, I want to do things my way. So it's David's way.
It's David's way. I thought, when I first saw it, I thought it was like a play on the expression.
Yeah, it's
the way. Like, this is the way, man. Hey, man, this is the way.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it. So
it's David's. So you did.
No. It's both things. Okay. Seriously. So I thought about, like, David's way, and then I pronounced this and said, "Oh my gosh, it's just the way." So.
I like it.
It's awesome. I love it. And now when I'm speaking English and I say the way to study, every time I say the way, it reminds me.
This is the way to study with a Jamaican accent.
Oh yes, slapping the BS. I like bacon. Yeah.
So you work. You're teaching, apart from dawayingles online. You're teaching in a school. Is it a public school or a private academy? Where do you teach?
I work in the private sector, so it's a private academy. The name of the academy is Londinium, and it's in Murcia, in the city center, and it's a private business.
Do you also teach children?
I teach both children and adults. Yeah, all age groups. Like, wow. I mean, not very, very young children. Like I think the youngest are like 8 years old or 10 years old, I think. But the academy is focused on adults. Like preparing for official exams.
Yes.
We also give tuition in company for some of the most important companies in Murcia. So it's a pretty big academy, and it's got very good reputation. To be honest, it's a very good academy.
So, you studied philology in Murcia University, and can you speak a bit about your background in English? I think you spent some time in Chester in the UK, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
How,
true.
what I'm interested, I think the listeners would like to know is how your English got to be so good.
Okay, that's not right because it's not that good. But
That you're being modest. It is very good, believe me.
okay,
As a
thanks.
teacher, I know.
Okay, thanks a lot. But I do make mistakes a lot. Very often, and I'm still learning a lot. There are so many words I need to learn, and sometimes when I hang around with my native friends, it's like, yeah, what's that? What does it mean? What does that mean? So yeah, I think you'll never stop learning if you aren't a native. But yeah, obviously I worked hard and I've got a good level. Yes. Okay, so I studied English philology, Filología Inglesa, at the University of Murcia. That was in 2008, I think. Yeah. And then I spent an Erasmus year in Cheshire. So I went to. It was one of my dreams to try to go to an English speaking country and spend some time there. So I went to Chester, which is
Were
in
there
the.
were there any other Spanish students with you on Erasmus?
Oh yes, there were three of us
How
going
how
to.
did you not speak Spanish with them while you were there? That's a big problem for Spanish students who study abroad. They tend to speak Spanish among themselves. How did you do that or did you not do that?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I did it. Oh my gosh, it was bad. It was bad. And okay, how to put it? This is funny. Okay, just for listeners who might be interested in going abroad, and if you go abroad, don't go with the Spaniards. Like, avoid them. Avoid.
Keep away from the Spanish.
Keep away. Yes, flee from the Spaniards. Seriously, like I don't. I mean, I love my country, but I don't like that, and it's a bad habit. We all have, and it's when you go to another country, you try to meet up only with people from your country, and that's a wrong approach. So avoid the Spaniards. When I was in Chester, I lived with another boy from Murcia as well. He was a classmate actually, and I love him. I love him to death. But I have to say he didn't help me a lot with my learning because he would keep speaking Spanish, and sometimes I would speak to him in English and he would reply in Spanish, and it was very weird. Like, come on, man, we need to mingle and we need to try to. But so yeah, try to avoid that. I had a lovely experience there. I loved it, but I got back with the feeling that I could have made more out of the experience, and it was because I spent some time with this guy, and we never tried to speak to each other in English, all the time, at all times.
So
And
it was a full year you were there for
yeah, I spent a
on
year there.
Erasmus. Okay.
Well, the academic year, like 9 months.
Yes.
So yeah, try to avoid the Spaniards. When I was there, they didn't. Okay, this is they didn't really like me. It's not that they didn't like me, but it was like, oh, okay, David, he doesn't want to hang about with us. But it was because I was trying to get involved into the culture, to mix with native friends, and I tried. So I didn't want to. I just thought, okay, if I want to go to a party with Spanish friends, I could be in Murcia, back in Murcia.
Exactly.
So that's not what I'm here for. So
Did you make English speaking friends there?
okay, that's a tricky question. Don't take it personal, Craig.
I know
very-
you're gonna. I know what you're gonna say. You're thinking English people are too cold,
yeah,
too
exactly.
unapproachable.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It looks like a cliche, but to
It's
me,
true. It's
it,
true.
it was really hard to make friends. To be honest, I didn't really make good friends, like close friends. I made a couple of friends, and one of them was Scottish. I have to say Scottish people are very nice in general,
Yes, they are.
and but yeah, I didn't make really really good friends. I tried to have some conversation with my classmates, and we did, this boy and I, we went to some of the parties, to try to speak to them, but I don't know, they wouldn't really really try. They wouldn't make the effort, so it was hard, but I did, this is something your listeners can do if they go abroad. I went out a lot with the international students, and they were like my second family there, and that helped me a lot. You can speak with French, with Italians, and that was great. Because we all had to speak English to communicate. Um, Another thing, and there was another person in the flat. I had two flatmates, so one of them was the Spanish boy, and the other one was Shelly. And Shelly's is my second mother. Okay, now she's my second mother. She's Canadian, and she was living in England at the time, and she was, I admire her a lot. She's one of the best people I've ever met, and she helped me a lot because we would speak a lot to each other, and she helped me with correcting me, and just
But she didn't give you a Canadian accent.
no, no, but she did try to teach me some of the expressions, and yeah, I really got the feeling of, when you can tell the difference between a North American, sorry, not not American, a North American accent, and when you've got the British one. So, but yeah, it was good that she was there. I really really appreciate the fact that she was there, because I got into the culture a little bit.
That's great. It always helps to have somebody to hold your hand and help you along like that.
Yeah.
David, what would you say to a student who says they don't have enough time to study? That's something I hear a lot from my students. Do you have any advice for people who don't have the time to improve their English? Or who
Okay.
say they don't have the time?
Exactly. As you said, yeah, some of them say they don't have the time, but they do. And I think what they lack is the approach. It's like I think in Spain in general, we see English as an academic subject. And it's like, as you said, we go to school and then we learn some English and then we close the book and then, that's it. That's you know, um, the only connection that you have with the language. And I think a language is something alive. It's culture, is people, is movies, is I don't know, going abroad, is so many different things. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And songs, music or games, even online games. I learned a lot when I was younger playing online games, and
Computer games, yes?
yeah, computer games. I still play some computer games, and it helps a lot. So the thing is, if you don't have the time to study, um, okay, the first thing is go to English podcast, that way, or Mansión Inglés, and get some, listening. You can get free audio on your MP3, on your smartphone, or on your computer. You can listen and you can use that time. That was something we mentioned in another podcast with Joseph on the blog. And it's, that time, as you mentioned before, is, for example, when you're waiting, when you are queuing up, or, yeah, if you go to Mercadona and you have to wait, or you're on the bus, you can use applications, for example, like Anki. Have you heard of Anki?
No, I haven't. What's Anki?
Anki is an application you use. It's based on spaced repetition. So I don't want to go into too much detail now, but it's a free application and you can use it to memorize vocabulary.
I'll put a link in the show notes to this application for people who are interested.
Oh yeah, cool. So you can use applications. You can listen to podcasts for free, and you only have to. As you said, you can multitask. You can be cooking, or you can be, I don't know, doing sports. I've got, for example, one of my listeners, Pepe. He told me he will listen to the podcast while he's driving his motorbike or while he's playing football. So that's cool. You can be learning and doing your life at the same time.
There's
Uh,
there's something I read on your blog that I really liked. I'll just read it back to you. Para aprender inglés, nadie, absolutamente nadie, podrá aprender, estudiar o practicar por ti. Ni el profesor, ni la academia, ni el curso. en el que estés apuntado, solo tú puedes moverte, abrir un libro, buscar una palabra en el diccionario, pronunciar las frases, cometer errores, intentar entender una conversación, hacer oído, etc. Es la única forma de avanzar. Es como hacer deporte. Yo puedo ser tu entrenador, pero eres tú quien tiene que correr y sudar. And that's so true. And I love the way you've expressed it there.
Oh my God.
To learn and to advance, then that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's
There's only so much that a teacher can help you with.
That's beautiful. Oh my God, it moved me.
I mean, it moved me when I read it. That's why I made a note of it, because it sums up
Okay.
in a few words really what I believe in, and how students can move forward and take their English to the next level.
That's very touching. Yes, it's true. That's what the website is based on. Like, learning English is like doing sport. So you can have the best coach in the world, you can have the best equipment and the best gym, the best facilities, but you need to work out. It is you who has to sweat and run and try and make the effort, and that's no one can do it for you.
Believe me, as somebody who's trying to lose weight, that's very true.
Yeah.
I've read the books and I've watched the videos, and now I have to go to the gym because I really have to lose weight myself doing the exercise. And it's the same with English.
It's the same, seriously. So yeah, I know it's a big responsibility, to be honest, and I think most people don't want to hear it. It's like they want to believe that going to an academy is enough. Like, I pay 70 euros a month, and that way I will end up speaking fluently, but that's not true. And you need to be realistic about learning a language is not something you can learn just going to class. So you have to work. And I think the best way, as you said, the main point is that you have to work, and the best way to work and to make it enjoyable is to find the right motivation. So as I said, a language is something alive. It's not something academic. So forget about the books. Forget about taking notes. Forget about memorizing. Just embrace the natives and try to mingle. Try to speak to someone from the country. Try to listen to songs. If you like, I don't know, Eminem or Rihanna or whatever, or try to watch movies in original version. Or, for example, if you like, imagine, say you love, I don't know, do-it-yourself. You can learn a lot of do-it-yourself, bricolaje, reading blogs online, written by natives. Or if you like snowboarding, you can find a website where a professional snowboarder speaks about his job, or, you can find the things that you love in English.
Exactly. Go for your interests. Go for what you're interested in, but do it in English, not in Spanish.
Exactly. Or if you like the online games, play an online game with Skype. You can speak to natives. You can make I think the ultimate goal is speak to natives, and you can make friends. Try to make friends, or try to get in touch with the culture, and that way you won't have to study. Everything will be just something part of your life. And that's a fastest way to improve. Seriously.
Some very, very good advice there. Thank you. I'm going to put you on the spot now,
Okay.
David. If you were to pass on one golden tip, un consejo de oro, about how a student could improve their English, what would it be? If the listeners can take one thing away from this conversation, what one thing would you suggest they go and do?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, I think just what we have said is the most important thing. Try to make some friends. Try to forget about studying. Just try to get some contacts. Try to get in touch with the culture, and that way you won't have to study. Seriously, like, when I was at university, I had to study a lot. I know where you've been, listeners. I know where you've been because I've been a student as well in Spain. I know you have to read. I've done written exercises, fill in the gaps and all that. I got fed up with the exercises, and I didn't learn. You know, when I started at university, I couldn't speak any English, and we are supposed to be studying for so many years. And the only difference, the thing that made the difference is first when I started to play online games. To be honest, because I got in touch with people when I made my native friends in the degree, you know, and when I started going out with natives, basically, for example, when I met Shelley in Chester, or you know, any, or for example, when I went to Ireland as well for just a couple of days, and I made some friends there as well. So the ultimate goal, the best resource for learning English is trying to make some friends, some native friends, and that way you won't have to study. Everything will come, easily and natural. And of course, you have to study some grammar. Yes, you can't forget about the grammar. But I think, yeah, stay away from the traditional approach. You know, fly away from the written exercises and try to focus on the listening, on the speaking, on the alive part of the language.
Did
Like,
you did you find any English speakers in Murcia when you were studying English in the beginning? Did you look for places where English speakers would be in your area?
yeah, lots of them.
How
To be
how did you
honest.
how did you do that?
Okay, so the story begins with Adam. He's one of my best friends, and he just, during the first class of the degree, we were both very very bored and fed up with the class, and we were sitting at the back of the class.
Is he Spanish, Adam?
Adam, he's a native. He's from Newcastle,
Okay.
but he's been living here for 11 years, I think. So he studies English philology as well. So I just, started to talk to him because I was bored. No, I didn't know he was a native or anything. So we just started talking. And because of it, I got to know a lot of really, really great people from Murcia. They are natives who are living here. But, you can, if you go out, you can meet a lot of people. For example, there are language exchanges, and, we call them tandems.
You call them tandems. We call them intercambios here in Valencia.
Intercambio. So we say tandem, and for example,
Tandem.
yeah, tandem is, I think it's a German word or
Like
Arabic.
like the bicycle?
Yeah, like the
Like where you
bicycle.
have two people on the same bicycle. A
Yeah,
tandem.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So what we do basically, for example, last night, to be honest, last night not last night, on Tuesday, we went out and we went to one of these tandems. You get, people meet up just to speak English, to practice, and you get some natives come, and you get to know teachers, or teachers' friends, or you get to know other people who are learning and trying to put into practice what they learn in class. So it's a fun, the fun part of learning. So you go there to a pub, you have a beer, a Guinness, and you speak to people, you practice your English, you meet some friends, and so it's just looking for them. You have to be active and try to look for the people. But I'm sure there must be natives in Valencia, in Galicia, in everywhere. Because
Yeah,
there are
that's
lots of natives living in Spain. So at first, maybe you might speak to people because it's like you've got the goal in mind, like I have to practice. But then you realize it's just, I mean, there is a point where it's just part of your life. It's people that you are fond of. It's people you love, and people you hang about with. So it's just, when English is part of your life because you need it, to speak to your friends or to your girlfriend or whatever. It's
exactly.
just,
Yeah.
it's so easy. You don't need to study. You just, it's something natural. It's something natural. And I have to say, a final thing is, I did have some Spanish friends, Rafael, Christian, for example, or Gustavo, or Marcelo. They were, we were like we used to call ourselves the university wits. But no, it was only because, we were the only ones who would actually try to speak English to each other, even though we were Spaniards.
That's
So
great. I love that.
yeah, so it was, they had such a great attitude towards learning. And I've got this friend Rafael, and we will speak to each other in English. Even when we meet here in Spain, it comes naturally because we are so used to talking to each other. it's beautiful. It's just, you don't have to, you can meet some natives, but you can try to speak to your friends, to your Spanish friends, if you are committed and you think like, yeah, this is something that we both want to get.
Yeah, and it's no surprise with that attitude of come on, okay, we're Spanish, let's speak English. It's no surprise to me that your level gets so high, because with that motivation and that attitude, it has to be so good. Let's move on, David, and speak a little about Cambridge exams. What advice do you have for students preparing for exams like FCE or CAE or even PET? By themselves at home, people who are not studying in an academy. And one thing I'm interested in, I'd like to know how you would think the student would know if they had the level to register for the exam, for the FCE exam, for example. If they're studying by themselves, how do you think they should do it? And how would they know if they have the level for the exam?
That's interesting. Okay, so in order to know what level you are, there are so many ways. I mean, there are some placement tests online, as you said. You've got one in Mansión del Inglés, but I think the most powerful resource is to just go to an academy and ask different. You can pop into different academies and try to get some feedback. Just, I mean, as you said, it's free. Normally, it's free, and you just have to say like, I just want to know what my level is, even though you might not sign up, but you just go there and find out what your level is. You can also try to find some past papers and see how hard it is to understand. But
So what you do a past paper online, and if you get like more than 60%, you've probably got the level for the exam.
yeah,
Right?
I really recommend going to an academy, to an actual academy, to be honest. Like, because a teacher will know, better than anyone else. It's like, for example, when people come to our academy, what we do is, I will ask them some questions like, what did you do yesterday, or what would you like to do in the future? Some of the questions that you get in PET exam, so I can kind of assess how good they are or how rusty they are. Um, yeah, so you need
Do, do
to.
you do you also give them a written exam at the academy, or
Yeah,
just speak to them?
no, yeah, we do have a written exam, and we just do a little speaking test.
Yeah.
So the best thing, it's my opinion. I think it would be to go to an actual academy or to a language school like the British Council, in any place where you can actually speak to a teacher and they will tell you exactly where you are, more or less, because a teacher has got a lot of experience, and we've seen a lot of profiles and a lot of people going through that stage.
I'm curious. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I'm curious. Apart from sending self-study students to dawayingles or mention Inglés to study online, would you recommend they sort of buy a course book and work at home from that?
Okay, I think in early stages, like for low levels, it's very very difficult to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You need some support. I think the main objective of my website, the main goal I try is, I once read a line, a quote or something, I don't know where, but it was something like, it went like, the best teacher is that who makes himself less and less necessary. So, I want students to be independent, to be autonomous, so they can work on their own. And I want that was the idea of the websites. I give you all the tools, I give you the approach, I give you everything you need to know about English, and then you have to walk, but
Yeah.
you've got everything you need. So I think for example, when a student is at a B2 level, they've got enough experience to work on their own. So they can get, for example, there are some books. It's called Practice Tests from Cambridge or Past Papers, and you get like a collection of, it's a series with different books, and all of them, each of them has like 4 or 5 practice tests, and you've got the key notes, you've got the transcription for the listenings, and you get the CDs. this is something I want to cover on the blog. I want to make a review because it's very, very useful when you've got, as I said, an advanced level. You can practice on your own. You don't need to pay an academy. You need the book to work. And with all the resources you've got online, you can improve a lot. But when you are at low level, you need some support. And I think the teacher, the teacher is a key role there. It's you need someone to, it's like when you start doing sports, is maybe the first month you need the coach to be with you and say, okay, you're doing this wrong, you need to, you need to improve this or be careful with that. But once you know how to do the exercises and you can just, you're off to go.
I agree. I agree with that. I will put links to the books that you mentioned on the in the show notes at inglespodcast.com.
Okay.
What are your professional plans for the future? How do you see Daway Ingles developing? For example, do you think in the future you'll spend less time in the classroom and more time on the website? Do you see yourself sort of expanding the business to maybe employ people? How do you see the next sort of 5-10 years?
Okay, that's a difficult question.
It's a long way ahead.
Yeah, okay. And I like so many different things. And for example, because of the websites, I got interested in, for example, marketing or business or online, programming and all that. So I really feel like trying different stuff in the future, not only teaching. Okay, I'll be, I'll always be a teacher, of course, and I love teaching, but I also want to try different things. So I might, for example, continue with the websites and working on different projects or learning about online products or something like that. So, for example, when we speak about the future of Daway, it's soon. It's too soon right now, but
It's the first year.
yeah, it's not even the first year. So
But you must be very excited for next year because you've had quite a lot of success this year with everything. So you must be really excited about next year.
yeah, I am, of course, but and a very I don't know. I try to not to get too much confidence. I try not to get too overconfident. So it's like it's been successful so far, and I'm really, really happy with the results. To be honest, I've got a lot of readers and visitors and subscribers, and people love the website, so it's going great. But you never know because in online websites in this field is so difficult. It's very tricky sometimes, and you have to work a lot. People, I mean, I think most people don't really know how much it takes, to maintain a website and to work on the design, on the programming, on the SEO, the rankings on Google, because that's another world.
Yes.
So it takes a lot of time. But my original idea, and it's something that I always say, and it's on my about page on the website. It's something that people can read, as soon as they enter, is that I want to offer the best free quality, the best quality content for free. And then I want to try to create some premium content, like, for example, a course, a product about, I don't know, pronunciation or something specific about exams. And that way I could make a small income out of the website. So I don't have to, because I've invested some money in the website, to be honest. And it takes money as well. It takes, so yeah, I just want to keep the free stuff, as long as possible. I want to keep on trying to write articles because I love it, and having interviews, like, for example, with you, and getting to know people, working with different teachers in the industry, and giving all that for free. But at the same time, of course, I need money. So my idea was to try to make, just a little exclusive content, so I can more or less get some income and keep on working on the website. Because
Well, I wish you every success with the project, and I must say that if you haven't visited dawayingles.com, you should go there because there is a wealth of material and information, and some fantastic material to help your English. So I suggest people go there.
Thanks.
David, I want to be respectful of your time, so we'll finish here, I think. Where, apart from dawayingles.com, where can people go to find your material online?
Okay, so far I've got the websites, but they can find me on social media. So I've got well, we can post the links on the show notes for the podcast, but you can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, the official page of the website, and through email. We can post the email on the article. So I don't spend a lot of time on social media, but just any question, or if you have any doubts, or for example, people can send a voice message through. There's a very, very cool plugin for WordPress. I wanted to tell you, it's called SpeakPipe. So they can send a voice message, they can practice their English, and they will see the question answered in a podcast or something like that. So just anything through email, Twitter, Facebook, Google+. I'm everywhere,
Okay. Okay, David, thank you very much. And thank you for everything you do for people studying English. It's been a pleasure to speak to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me, for having me, for giving me the opportunity to speak about the project. Thanks a lot, seriously.
Okay, David, take care.